Today we're tackling a myth we hear very often. A myth about heat. The fact that hot days might render HREZ ineffective. It's a worry that's rooted in realistic past experiences with other resistance genes like TM22, the gene that's been holding up for Tobamovirus resistances for the last 4 decades. But what's true about the interaction between heat and HREZ? So Sergio, when we first introduced HREZ in the warmer climates, you went there, I think in Sicily a couple of years ago. And this trip you were encountering some unexpected surprises. Can you say a little bit about this?
In winter trials everything looked perfect, even under high pressure conditions, high virus pressure conditions. But in summer we saw that our genes inactivate if the temperatures are constantly high. And that is what's happening at Sicily in the trials. Very, very high temperatures, combined with excessively high pressure of the virus. And under those circumstances, you have fruits that show a phenomenon called excessive hypersensitivity. They start firing the hypersensitive response, leading to cell death and massively, so that the fruit doesn't look very good. It's not sellable, basically.
So it's really important to study the interaction between our genetics, the environment, and maybe additional genetics in order to circumvent these issues in the future?
Yeah, exactly. We know that it's a combination of this hypersensitive response-based resistance and a really high disease pressure. These excessively hot conditions in Sicily with high disease pressure, yeah, we learned a great deal from that. And we started a new research line to study the interaction between our genetics of HREZ and high disease pressure under constant heat conditions.
We do not need Sicilian summers to study the interaction between our HREZ genetics and the heat. Here in the Netherlands, even in cold winters, we can study that interaction with these climate cells. And we've got an expert in heat, Ilse Bakker, who can tell us more about this. Ilse.
Hello.
Hi. Can you say something about how we here mimic the conditions that growers face, for instance in Sicily or other heat regions?
Yeah, we simulate the field conditions using our highly controlled growth chambers. And in this way we mimic the conditions that the growers face. So in this way we can understand our resistance under their conditions.
And why is this even a thing? Why would we bother study the interaction between HREZ and heat?
Yeah, because some proteins struggle to activate the downstream signaling under heat conditions. So you need to understand that before resistance a whole process is happening, and for some proteins indeed heat affects these processes.
So high temperatures, heat, can actually inactivate HREZ even, right? That's resistance genes are influenced in that sense by the heat. Is this interaction permanent?
It's definitely not permanent because there's a continuous production of resistance protein, and also resistance proteins are produced during the night, and these have not faced any kind of heat that might initiate downstream signaling. So it is reversible and temporarily. Some proteins struggle to activate the defense response at higher temperatures, but this is reversible. So when the temperature drops, the resistance is back. The real risk is when high temperature and high virus pressure happens at the same time.
Under normal conditions, HREZ keeps Tobamovirus in check. Just a few virus particles easily contained. On a very hot day, HREZ resistance can temporarily shut down. The virus begins to build up, slowly but not dangerously. As night falls and temperatures drop again, HREZ reactivates. It reduces the viral load and restores the balance. But when heat persists, day and night, in extreme heat for a full week, the virus multiplies rapidly. The plant becomes saturated with Tobamovirus. Then, as temperatures cool finally down, after 1 week of extreme heat that persisted during the night, HREZ switches back on. but it's too late. Surrounded by virus, the plant triggers an excessive hypersensitive response. Fruits collapse. This is why prolonged heat stress, combined with high virus pressure, is devastating for almost any R gene-based resistance. This was true for TM22 in the past, and it's true for HREZ today. So, is there an interaction between heat and resistance? Absolutely. That's true for almost any R gene. And HREZ, it's not an exception. Hot days, especially well above 35 degrees Celsius, will temporarily inactivate the resistance mechanism. But the important thing here is that it's temporal. Once cold nights kick in, the resistance mechanism is reactivated again. HREZ resistance is a very powerful tool against Tobamovirus. But like any powerful tool, it works best in a well-managed system.